With Vijay Amritraj, just after the final in Wimbledon, much more elegant than me. I feel embarrassed. Apart from that, were you surprised about the score, the result?
No, not really, because I think the feeling was that Djokovic was certainly the most informed player of the season. There's no question about it. He had one loss in the last 6 months, that was to Federer in the semi-finals of Paris. I just think that Rafa has got to regroup and play him in a different style of play now. He's lost to him 5 times. I think Djokovic is playing closer to the baseline. Rafa is a little too far back. And Djokovic is playing the angles and then gives him the short ball to attack and come in. So he's got to regroup and do something a little bit more different now that he's lost this match.
Yes, I was surprised about how many unforced errors Nadal had, more than Djokovic.
Yes.
That is not very normal.
You never have Rafa playing a match where he has more enforced errors than his
anybody.
opponent. Yes, exactly. It just shows what pressure that Djokovic was actually putting on Rafa at this time. And that's why I'm saying that I think he was playing much more offensive and from closer in the baseline because he meets the ball earlier, Rafa meets the ball later, and from a defensive position he comes up with big shots.
Yeah.
Now that's got to change a little bit more when you play this guy.
Yes, he was missing more forehands than usual, and then he was sort of weak today on the backhand. I mean, Djokovic was always taking initiative, as you say, and was more aggressive. And plus, Djokovic was serving very well, because in the first 2 sets, he was almost not losing a point. He lost, I think, 9 points on 8 serve. I mean, Nadal never reached deuce on the first 2 sets, and only in the 3rd set something changed.
Yes, 3rd set, of course, it came to a point where now Djokovic started to believe that he can win this match.
Yeah, so it was a little bit more fragile.
That happens definitely all the time. But at the end of the day, Djokovic came in with the same strategy he had in Miami, Indian Wells, Madrid and Rome.
Yeah.
He came in with the same strategy, play the angles, play from inside the court, make sure you're keeping Rafa well behind the baseline, and then come in when you want to play the drop shot on the odd occasion.
Yeah, Djokovic always said that hard court was his best surface, but now if you consider that he beat Nadal on hard court, on clay, and now on grass, then he well deserves to be #1 in the world.
Definitely, no question about it. I think had he lost this match today and the ATP ranking came out tomorrow with him #1, it would have been a bittersweet pill to swallow.
Sure.
You know, but here he is truly the #1 player in the world, both in form and from the computer. And the question has to be in Rafa's mind as to whether Djokovic has now become his nemesis, just as Rafa was the nemesis for Federer.
Sure. And what about Federer? Will he be always the #3 in the world right now, that the other two seem to have a little edge? Or?
Well, it looks like both these guys have 12,000 plus points now, Djokovic and Nadal. Federer is at about 9,000 and Murray is about 6,000, so there's a bit of a gap there.
Sure.
Unless, of course, Federer wins the US Open and these guys lose in the 1st round or the 2nd round, which I don't think is going to happen. So he's going to have to basically pull up his socks and be comfortable with 3, make sure that he's able to beat both of them to win a tournament now. He's not going to be able to play just one guy and win it. So he's going to come out getting ready for Montreal and Cincinnati, saying that, listen, now I've got to fight back again. It's like Andre when he went back to ranking 150 in the world, and he went out and played challengers, and then he came back to regain a Grand Slam status.
Sure.
So I think Federer's going to have to do that.
Vijay, will you be at the US Open?
I'll be there.
Will you be always so elegant or a little less, please?
Well,
don't humiliate me.
This is the championships.
Okay,
it's the 125th championships.
Okay.
You have to be dressed.
Congratulations. Ciao. Ciao. Thanks a lot.